Hello everyone, I'm Tucker Meyer, the host of the Tucker Meyer Show. I just thought I'd make a quick video for you guys and debunk some popular gun control myths that have been pushed profusely by the fake news media and these politicians and our educational institutions, pushed by our crazy radical leftist professors and teachers, and by anti-gun movement organizations such as Everytown for Gun Safety and Students Demand Action and Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America, or as I like to call them, Students Demand Delusion, because what these organizations know is nothing about guns, and they don't know any correct solutions. But that's just another story. Well, let's dig right into the myths. Let me start off with myth number 1. The United States has a serious gun problem. Okay, well, if you take a look into some factors, it's not true. So, we're told there's about 39,000 gun deaths per year in America. Okay, well, take a look at this. We are the only country in the world that classifies a suicide committed with a handgun as a gun death. That accounts for 68% of all gun deaths in America. The number immediately plummets to 8,000. Okay? 700 of those 8,000 are, in fact, accidental gun discharges. Now the number drops to 7,300. 80% of that 7,300 are indeed gang-related shootings committed in urban communities committed with handguns. Now the number drops down to 5,600. Less than 3% of those are mass shootings. So to pretend that America has a serious gun problem is absolute nonsense. Okay, myth number 2. Assault weapons are a huge problem in the United States. Okay, so the FBI tells us that you are more likely to be killed with hands, fists, feet, bats, and hammers than you are with an assault weapon. And the term assault weapon was this term that was made up in the 1980s to distinguish the difference between a semi-automatic weapon and an automatic weapon, which are used in the military. And just last year, assault weapons or rifles were responsible for less than 1% of gun crime, or 261 gun deaths, which is in fact 1%, less of 1%, statistically speaking, of all gun deaths. Take a look at handguns, they're responsible for over 80%. Okay, now let's take a look at another myth. The assault weapons ban of federal assault weapons ban of 1994 actually worked. Okay, well, it turns out that the Department of Justice actually did a study, and they found that the assault weapons ban of between 1994 to 2005 actually did not achieve what it was supposed to accomplish, and it did not have any effect on the amount of shootings that were committed. So, and after the first 7 years after the ban was lifted, homicides went down 43%, violent crime went down 43%, rapes went down 27%, and robberies went down 49%. And now we have presidential candidate Amy Klobuchar pushing for a federal assault weapons ban. Well, no evidence suggests that works. Okay, now we move on to the next myth. And this is a very emotional one that the left uses a lot. 13 children are killed every day with guns. Okay, well, the thing is, those studies included children as old as ages ranging from 19 to 24 years old. The correct definition for a child is from birth up to ages of between 13 and 14. Here's the thing. We know that most violent crime is committed by young men ages 16 to 24. And those deaths include gang-related homicides committed during criminal activity. So to pretend that 13 kids are killed every day by guns is just not correct. Now we get into the myth that, gun registration works. Okay, well, it turns out that there's been no correlation. If you look throughout history, there's been no correlation between unregistered and registered guns and homicides. And even New Zealand themselves, back in 1980, stopped the registering of weapons because even the police found it unnecessary. And you see Democrat candidates now wanting to promote registration for all guns. Now, in fact, we see over 90% of these mass shootings happen with stolen guns. And in fact, 5 in 6 gun convicted felons actually got their guns from the secondary market. All right, now we go into mental health is not associated with mass shootings, rather the person. Well, we know that over 90% of these mass shootings have occurred people with suicidality, depression, and in fact mental illness. Also, between 61 and 62% of these mass shootings, these police have been given, and these suspects as well, have been showing signs for weeks and months that they are going to commit a mass shooting or do something terrible. However, we see law enforcement and FBI tend to have not taken any action, just like we saw in the Parkland shooting. So, anyways, I hope that helps debunk some popular gun myths for you guys. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.